Yesterday, Peter Obi once again called out the president for his recklessness, heartlessness, and for not being compassionate. He asked President Tinubu that how could he on earth approve 15 billion for presidential renovation?
To be quite honest with you, I think Obi is right, because I think I took pain to go through the what I would call objective criticism, because we are trying to compare how government apportion resources in the 2024 budget. Because you look at it, you in your scale of preference, you look at areas that are more important. For me, I think when it comes to welfare of Nigerians and their security, we have gotten priority attention. So for me, just like the day Obi have called, I think the government need to look at how money is being appropriated so that Nigerians suffering can be addressed.
Obi also went ahead to say that how could the National Assembly members allocate 5 billion for just car park renovation?
I think Nigeria is a case of the conspiracy between the executive and the legislative arm of government, because we understand that the executive actually is the one that write the appropriation, send it to National Assembly for consideration and approval before it becomes a bill, the budget. So, but for me, it looks as if when the executive come with the appropriation, the legislature will now make their own input to accommodate their personal interest, not the interest of the generality of Nigerians. And when they are satisfied that they have been able to massage the egos of the executive and the executive massaging the egos of the legislators, and once they strike the balance, they pass the budget, irrespective of the fact whether the interest of Nigerians is being captured. If you ask me if it were to be possible, I don't know the possibility, I would have advised that let us review that budget.
This is exactly what Peter Obi called for. In other news, our foreign reserve has, sinked from $34 billion to $31 billion. Meanwhile, Cardoso is still lying to us that he's not defending the naira. Do you think he's actually defending the naira?
I think the Cardoso and the people managing the economy should come out clean. Because at this point, I don't think we are comfortable with the way the country is being run. Because whether we like it or not, it is even on record that this government have secured, not just secured, they have drawn up to 2.something billion US dollar from Africa import and import bank. I'm talking about Afrexim Bank. So there are speculation that when it was no longer comfortable drawing from our foreign reserve, the government now decided to go and borrow money from Afrexim Bank. And as it stands, this month will be the last month they will be drawing the last tranche. And what happens going forward? If we are now borrowing money to address our dollar needs, and this is the last tranche, so how do you hope to continue to meet our dollar obligation after this month? And another issue is, why is government not looking inward to tap into the advice of Obi, who have before now advised government to diversify the economy into agriculture? Who say we cannot export wheat, flour, I mean to say, if we can cultivate wheat? Who say we cannot bring back our cotton industry, our fabric industry back to limelight if we can cultivate cotton? So for me, I think what the government needed to do urgently is the money they made us understand, which is about 4 trillion naira they will be freeing from subsidy ruble on gasoline, should be urgently and quickly diversified into agriculture so that we can start earning to export. Because for me, continue borrowing to meet our dollar need is not sustainable.
Apparently, it seems that the federal government is reversing on all the palliative measures they intended to, to implement, because we haven't seen anything. We have not seen any CNG gas, or have you seen any?
It looks as if government is even diplomatically going back to their vomit. Don't forget that and have said it in the past, not in the past, recently, that this government is even paying subsidy more than any other government. Don't forget that Mr. President during inauguration said subsidy is gone. And I don't think Mr. President can come out openly to face Nigeria and say, I'm paying subsidy. That perhaps explains the reason they are doing it secretly.
Can we say this is a government of deceit and deception?
I will tell you that this government, I think they won the election on the basis of deceit and propaganda. And it looks as if they want to run the government on that basis. And I don't know how long they can sustain it. Because you can see, even as dollar is crashing, it is not incommensurate with the price of goods and services. The price of goods in Nigeria is still high. So I don't know, because what is happening currently, I call it cosmetic approach. I call it artificial intervention by federal government. What we see naira appreciate and you see reflect in the economy is real growth of the economy, galvanize economic activity, grow our GDP, but a way of seeing economic activity coming back to landlines. Like the question I asked, government before now promised 8,000 to be given to the vulnerable, which may last 3 months or thereabouts. They promised to roll out a vehicle that run on CNG. They promised to give 50,000 to a good number of nano business owners. They promised to give 500,000 and 1 million, as the case may be, to a good number of small and medium scale enterprises. They promised to give 1 billion to about 75 companies to governance economic activities. I think as at the last count, I understand that there were moves to disburse the 1 billion each to about 75 companies. But I don't know whether that has been actualized. But if you look at other plethora of promises, I don't know what government is actually dragging.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. Is it a good news that dollar is coming down? Because it seems now the importers can enjoy their business trading, and also, do you think the president now is doing what is right?
It goes down to the reflection of the cosmetic coming down of the dollar, how it reflects to our individual economic life, or on how we do things on daily basis. So, but the fact is this: as it stands now, the situation has become very, very, very complicated, because we are not seeing the reflection of the coming down of naira appreciating against the dollar, to the life of what to buy on daily basis, commodities, the price of things or commodities or what to buy daily. But if you look at some response, from what some other business men of Igbo extraction are trying to do or say, is that they are still running on old stock, and maybe a space of 2-3 months or thereabouts from now, maybe we'll begin to see the reflect of the dollar, to our everyday buying and selling economic activities. But away from that, there are also some economic experts who have come out to say that the issue of how the dollar came to rise around February this year, and all of a sudden hit about 2,000 per dollar, is quite suspicious. That what the federal government is trying to do, even though the CBN governor has come out to claim that they have paid a kind of backlog, up to 7 billion, and of course we are seeing the reserve, using to fight the dollar crisis in Nigeria, that has a direct effect. But as you look at some of these government policies as it stands now, most of these policies are purely cosmetic. Because if you look, what I mean by being cosmetic is this: when you talk about a vibrant policy, the government need to look inwards first. What happens to our own domestic economy? Is it actually growing? What happens to the refineries, the modular refineries, and all that? Are we seeing it, coming up? What happens to the manufacturing sector of the country domestically? Are we seeing it working? What are those things, those economic infrastructures that will aid development, like electricity and all the rest? Are we seeing all those things? So you look at that, at the end of the day, like one of the economic experts said, Nigeria is still going to fall back to where they are coming from, because those things, those structures that would have helped, to stabilize the economy are no longer there. As I'm talking to you, from January to this date, about 800 manufacturing companies in Nigeria have shut down. We have seen a situation where the naira, is appreciating, but its value has collapsed. Is a big issue. Why the naira is appreciating, but the value of the naira is keep on collapsing. So it tells you that the situation economically, when to every businessman, is unpredictable as it stands now.
Thank you, Mr. Chinedu. Thank you for your time.